What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the free-to-play, no money spent, zero to hero series. Today, we are ranking up through the second half of D0 ranked. We are using the default deck. This is going to be the last default deck video that I make, everybody. And we are using the, what do we want to call this? The Elves deck or Fairies? I guess Forestcraft, Love Sign. Question number one, as I always ask with these default decks, is can you actually even win in ranked? D0, we're starting to get some, everybody's kind of adding cards to their deck. We're not really fighting against other default decks. Could you win if you just started the game and you didn't really have a lot of resources? Could you actually win with this deck? Let me go ahead and start with kind of my short answer. I think it should be possible. I think it should be possible to win. I think the cards are at least kind of halfway reasonably decent, and at least the deck has a way to hypothetically finish the game out. This May Journey Elf actually seems really solid to me. I'm guessing surely this will be played all the way through all the ranks by people. Combo 3, select an enemy follower on the field and deal it 3 damage. There's also a card in here that combos pretty well with this. It's a 2-mana 2/2. So on turn 3, you could play a 2/2, and you could play this 1/1 and kill pretty much anything on turn 3. For us here, since I don't really see myself being able to use it anytime soon, that was likely a mistake. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna go for a tiny bit of a rush down here where I'm basically gonna try to just kind of keep doing damage, get a few little kind of pings in early. What does this chick do again? Spell boost and select an enemy follower, deal 3 damage to it. All right, I'm gonna try to get a couple points in, and then I'm gonna end up ultimately trying to win off of. Actually, the reason really quick why this was probably a mistake is because since I was playing this turn 2, giving you 2 copies of the fairy, that's just another way where turn 3 I could have ended up playing this. Play 3 1/1s and deal the 3 damage. Yeah, that probably would have been better. Of course, ultimately on my turn 3, I'm gonna plan on playing the Indomitable Fighter as a 5/5. Ooh, that's nice. We got 2 Indomitable Fighters. And yeah, this is where I kind of needed to go ahead and keep that May Journey Elf. Actually would have been better in my hand, so a little bit of a mistake there. Now, these do also have Rush. Let's just go ahead and go with the Indomitable Fighter. And we'll just leave it at that for now. So can you win with this deck? I definitely think it's possible. And why do I think it's possible? I think it's possible because there is at least one decent finisher here, and because you get to swarm the board with these 1/1s. A lot of these decks, it's kind of hard to get any early damage in because first, second, third, fourth turn is always just kind of back and forth trading a lot of the time. And if you're playing a deck where you actually want to get some face damage in, oh wow. Really surprised about that. I think my opponent, I don't know, are they just kind of bad or what? Most likely, my opponent is probably going to end up evolving next turn, which is probably going to mean this Indomitable Fighter is not going to get to really do too much, but whatever. I'm going to keep getting these little bits of damage in, and what we're going to need to actually close out this match and finish this match out is we're going to need that finisher. So this deck, I'm just going to call it Fairies, I guess. So this Fairies deck. Okay, what is this? Hold on. Okay, yeah. Oof. Summon and Anne's Summoning, which is this at the end of your opponent's turn. Destroy this card. Wow, okay. Trade it off with my 5/5. Is she going to end up evolving this? Select an enemy follower on the field and deal 3 damage. Maybe she won't end up evolving that. And that is definitely very strong, though, for a 5-mana card. Man, these legendaries or whatever is called. Okay, here we go. We drew our finisher. So here's the finisher, Selwyn Sonic Archer. This is how we get to actually potentially win games with this deck. This match, I have a feeling, is not going to be a win. The opponent's deck is strong enough, probably not going to be able to win with the default deck, but it is going to do a pretty decent job of showcasing how it could be actually kind of possible to win this match. Actually, did I make a mistake? Also, I probably should have went ahead and went for an evolution last turn. So yeah, this Selwyn, all right, well, you're just going to see it. Basically, just, you want to flood the board. And once you flood the board, the thing is, it's going to be a little bit hard. A lot of decks don't have great board clear, at least early on in these ranks. So the question is, I'm going to definitely play a fairy. I'm going to definitely evolve one of these cards here. Doesn't really matter, I think, which one. So we're going to evolve that. Going to get a little bit of damage here. Go ahead and get this attacks here. And then, y'all, I'm actually going to basically try to actually win this game. So I'm going to go here, and because I'm able to split these up, if they basically don't have a way... Oop, oh, that's unfortunate. Maybe I should attack in. Nah, that's all right. So we ended up wasting 1 point, but that's okay. because of the fact that you get to spread the board out like this, it's often hard for them to completely clear your board. This deck, it does have one spell that can deal 2 damage to everything. I know because it's in the default deck, and I played the default deck for a while. Covered it on this channel, of course. All right, they're probably... Okay, so they're going to do that. They're going to kill my 3/3. But... Okay, are we going to be able to take this match, y'all? Oh, you got to give it to me. If I'm able to win this match, y'all, I got to earn at least 1 subscriber out of this video if I'm able to beat down all of these decks with their super powerful legendaries and still finding these winning lines with these default decks. As long as they can't kill my whole board, I think I might be able to win this. It's going to be kind of close, I think. But anyway, this is this game... Win or lose, this is the perfect showcase game for this deck. You basically can flood the board with all these 1/1s, and because you can do that, they can't really fully clear them out. And yeah, I really do. I think this is like one of the best decks for actually being, it's like possible at least to push a lot of this early damage. A lot of these other decks, it's kind of like impossible to push that early damage. This is going to be a little bit unfortunate because the fact that we're going to end up pushing this guy back to the hand, it's just going to come out fanfare. It's going to still be really strong. In fact, you know what? I don't think I will do that because this is so strong when it comes out. I think I'll actually take this out with something with an evolve. So I'll just end up dealing like 3 this turn and keep kind of clearing the board out. We'll use the Quake Goliath. I'm going to use just a regular evolution on it. I'm going to keep my super evolves in case I draw another Selwyn. Then I think I should be able to surely win the match if I draw a second one of these Selwyn here. All right, so we're going to flood the board here with the fairies. Last word spell booster hand. Should I actually... Well, let's go ahead and do this first. No, I think I just got to go face, so let's go ahead and do it. And so yeah, here, whether I'm able to actually finish this match off or not, I think you should be able to basically see they're at 14. If you can basically draw like 1 to 2 of these Selwyn Sonic Archer, this has Storm, okay? So it's got 4 attack, it's got Storm, so it can attack face, and then you super evolve it, and you get to bounce one of the enemy followers back to their hand. All right, what does this do again? Draw 2. Ooh, restore 2 defense. That's actually going to kind of hurt a little bit and recover 2 play points. Okay, I'm probably going to end up bouncing that back to the hand most likely. Okay, it gets to recover 2 play points, but I've got this board filled up, so I'm still going to get to keep hitting with everybody here on the board. They're probably going to go ahead and swing in here, so we're going to get 4 damage in here, I think. All right, what does this do here? And... wouldn't be surprised. It should do at least 1 either evolution or super evolution. What does this do again? Select another unevolved. Oh, okay, yeah, super evolve it. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit tough, isn't it? Uh-oh. Yeah, that might be a little bit too much for the legendaries that are pretty strong. Yeah, I guess this Olivia Heroic Dark Angel is pretty strong, isn't she? So yeah, this is, I guess it's probably not going to be able to end up getting the super evolution here, but yeah, still a pretty good showcase for this deck. Let's go ahead and bounce back to the hand, and we're actually kind of risking death here, unfortunately, because this is a 5/5. Yeah, so we are actually, unfortunately, going to have no choice but to... I'll bounce the 5/5 back. We're not going to be able to go face, unfortunately, with the Selwyn. So we are actually going to be basically forced to do this.
This is not the end.
And yeah, they've got that 3/2, unfortunately. I think at this point, I made a little bit of a mistake. I had 1 play point left that I could have used to bring a rush 1/1 out. Whoops. And then I could have got 1 more point to the face. But unfortunately, because our opponent had good enough legendaries, was able to slow us down enough, also recover some life. We only drew 1 of the Selwyn. So yeah, that's basically how I'm going to play this deck. And yeah, I'm going to be looking to see if I can get at least 1 or more wins through this latter half of D0. I think it should be possible, but I will say the overall strength of this default deck is still, I think, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. In fact, you know what? I'm ready to go ahead and rate the deck. I'm going to go ahead and give it a rating. I've played it a little bit, and you know, you can pretty well figure out how well it's going to play out by just thinking about these different starts and observing this kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and rate it. I'm going to give it a B rating. So I still think that, for example, Portalcraft and Dragoncraft, I still think those are by far the 2 best default decks. If you want to jump in and play default decks, I think those are the 2 to run. I think Swordcraft is still a little bit below those, so I'm going to call that A tier. And then I would put this deck basically a little bit below there. The power level is just not quite there. Like even the Selwyn is pretty cool and pretty good. And yeah, I could see like potentially, you know, playing this card probably all through ranked. I wouldn't be surprised to run into it quite a bit if you want to play this same strategy that this deck is employing. But yeah, this deck is unfortunately overall, it's just kind of a little bit too weak just in general. So even with that strategy, can you win? Surely it's possible. Am I going to be able to win with it? I don't know. May kind of take a while to get those wins, obviously, right? I always like doing this play here with these default decks of super evolving the Caravan Mammoth. And then, you know, they might have one evolve point left. Go ahead and get the kill here. Attack, hit him in the face, and then being able to kind of back this up with this little blocker here, like that. Sometimes you can just randomly kind of steal matches with this if they don't quite have what they need to be able to get through this. Of course, my opponent, as you can tell, they've beefed their deck up quite a bit. They're going to be able to get through it, I think. But so yeah, I'm going to give this a B rating. I'm going to go ahead and try to capture for the second match of this video. I'll try to get one win with it just to show you it's possible. Surely I can get at least one win with it, right? Surely I've got to be able to. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'd place it. I'd place it somewhere kind of around kind of that below, kind of maybe 4th place or maybe 5th place. There was another default deck that I would basically give like a kind of a B rating to. Okay, as it stands now, this is so hilarious too. This Detective's Lens. Y'all, I always thought this was like the worst card in all the default decks, but lately I've been kind of thinking, depending on the deck you're running, you could actually potentially end up keeping this in a lot of different decks. Like the decks that are trying to go face with Storm. I mean, really, even, you know, this deck, it could even be halfway decent in a lot of scenarios. And here, it's looking like this Detective's Lens, y'all. Oh my god, y'all, it's looking like the Detective's Lens is gonna win us again. Oh, oh, come on, y'all. Give it. What do y'all think about this? I fought through. Oh man, I fought through. I fought through the legendaries. I fought through it all and I won. Oh man, oh, I'm glad I captured that one live. Oh, that was too good. Can you win with this deck, y'all? You can win with it. I'm gonna call it B tier. I finally finished this mission out winning with these darn default decks. You know what, y'all? Maybe I'll leave it with that. I think that pretty well fully captured this deck. I don't think I really need to say anything more about it, to be honest. I don't think I want to play this deck anymore. It's just not quite strong enough. Yeah, I used Dragoncraft for most of D0, so I think it's time for me to go ahead and now kind of finish up this default deck series with basically just seeing how far can you take, like, for example, the Dragoncraft and the Portal, maybe even the Swordcraft a little bit, and kind of finish up with rating those. Y'all, if you enjoyed this match, if you're enjoying this series at all, please do consider subscribing. It does really help the channel out a lot. Let's do a quick look through these cards here. Selwyn, absolutely one of the best cards in the deck. This is how you're going to have to try to win the matches out, because you're probably not going to be able to get many wins like I just got with that Caravan Mammoth. That was just totally crazy. The Gentle Treant, if you can get that Fanfare Combo 3, I think that this card seems like it should be kind of halfway decent, but overall just kind of low power level. You know, if you just compare this deck as a whole to just Dragoncraft just has so many more powerful options. The average power level of the cards is just so much better than these. And I would say probably same for Portalcraft. May Journey Elf, as I mentioned, I do think this card is probably going to see play in a lot of these decks. I won't be surprised to see that all over the place. Bug Alert, you know, it's good enough. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. This can be decent enough. It's fine in the deck. And then of course the 2/2, 0/2, and the 3/3, 4/5, these are all just in every default deck. Adventurers Guild is probably going to be the first cut. Now that I've played all these default decks out, this is probably going to be one of the first cards you cut out of every single one of these default decks when you start upgrading it. Only in pretty rare circumstances, I think, would you end up even considering this. And then as soon as you actually open up enough packs, I don't really see playing it. Giving a creature rush for 3, that's terrible. The Stray Beastman, you know, just fine. Kind of works together with everything. So everything's just kind of fine. I didn't really get enough experience with Wild Profusion to say for sure on that one. And Fairy Tamer, you know, just kind of combos with everything. And you're able to go wide with this deck, which, again, as I just showed in that match, that's how we were able to set up that win, because the fact that you can just keep playing all these 1/1s, if you want to be able to play an early aggro strategy and actually get damage through, I'm really still kind of thinking this is like the best way to push that early damage. Because every other deck, when it tries to push early damage, the opponent is just constantly trading off 1 for 1, and you can't push. But here, there's not so many people playing board wipe stuff, especially early on. All right, y'all. So yeah, that's it for the default deck series. And just want to shout out, if you're wondering, well, what about Abysscraft? You didn't cover Abysscraft for the default decks? That is because I think it is so bad that it's pretty much unplayable. I'm going to give it an F rating. It's not worth covering in a video. All right, y'all. And with that, we will wrap it up here as we finish out D0, going back to the stronger default decks. So I'll see you next time when we do that.